Just like any other nation is declared a rogue state for failing to abide by international laws and the Geneva Convention, the United States and the Israeli government should be considered rogue nations for the genocide against the Palestinian people. The United States supports the Israeli government doing it, funds them, gives them military weapons, and the Israeli government is the one committing the genocide against the Palestinian people, killing kids in their homes. So yeah, both of them should be kicked out of the UN and declared rogue states until they decide to abide by international law.
No public statements and very few smiles as the U.S. Secretary of State sits down to meet with the foreign ministers of Turkey, Palestine, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt.
The resolution's authors.
This meeting happening just moments after the U.S. vetoed a ceasefire resolution at the United Nations.
Against.
A ceasefire that
Yeah, it's no surprise that the United States is against a ceasefire, even though they claim to be the defender of human rights around the world, defend people's human rights when it comes to certain allies that they care about, even if those allies aren't actually about human rights either.
is their main demand.
We believe there is a moral obligation toward the international community to stop the killing of the Palestinian civilians. And it's the first time, at least in my lifetime, that I have seen that calling for a ceasefire became a controversial issue.
Theirs was a unified.
Yeah, it's crazy how not wanting a government to genocide another group of people is somehow a bad thing to for, and you're considered racist for that, when any other time government was chastised for, human rights abuses or violations or whatever, nobody's considered racist for that.
Unified message to the press and policy experts, warning that what they see as a double standard and refusal to call for a ceasefire is costing the United States credibility worldwide.
I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, nations around the world are realizing that, yeah, the United States has a double standard on who has their rights protected. You can't claim to be a defender of human rights, see your ally committing human rights violations, and not do anything to stop that whatsoever.
Sure how deep is the understanding here of what's happening on the ground in Gaza. I mean, this war has broken every record. Largest number of journalists killed, largest number of hospitals destroyed, largest number of medics killed, largest number of UN employees killed.
Yeah, how can you say you're just defending your nation from a terrorist attack while you're also killing journalists, killing hospital workers, killing UN workers, attacking UN shelters, and various other things against people that are supposed to be protected during war? The Israeli government is not acting in self-defense, they're acting to commit a genocide.
They argued the Biden administration is not using its influence with Israel enough.
Our message has been very clear. There needs to be an immediate ceasefire, there needs to be a cessation of hostilities, and we need to have immediate access for humanitarian aid. It is not acceptable.
We did hear them say that there will be a need to hold the international community to account without detailing exactly what that might look like, but they did warn that the hatred in the region is growing by the day, and the long-term impact, they are afraid this has wiped out 30 years of work and that an entire generation now will no longer be able to even imagine the